That gets you fired up for your Thursday morning. Good morning to you in North Texas. Thanks for waking up with us on Daybreak. I'm Matt Howerton.
And I'm Dia Wall. We'll have much more on the investigation in Fort Worth and the latest on the Artemis II mission in just a bit. But first, we got to get you out the door this Thursday with meteorologist Greg Fields and traffic anchor Erica Lopez. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we've had a couple crashes this morning, so I'll get you up to speed on where we're seeing it. But other than that, it's not a terrible start to the morning drive.
Yeah, and a nice day weather-wise, but we're looking toward the weekend.
Yeah, things starting to change a little bit out there. But yes, it's going to be a pleasant start. A little warmer out there for us as we head out the door this morning. Maybe a little more humid for you, too. And that trend will continue here as we head into the weekend. 60 degrees taking you on out to Fort Worth right now. We've got those south winds. Good looking morning, though. We've started out mostly clear this morning, but those clouds will thicken up. Some lower clouds, I think, as we head toward the after sunrise, heading toward midday today and clearing out maybe again a little bit as we head on into the afternoon. But a warmer 60 degrees in Fort Worth. Elsewhere around North Texas here, those upper 50s heading out to Terrell and Canton, both at 58. 57 as you head over to Greenville, over toward McKinney there. And as we get out into Decatur, Mineral Wells, Granbury, all in the upper 50s and low 60s here this morning. So it's going to be warmer as we go through the day, partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head into this afternoon. Notice those south winds, they pick up a little bit more in that 10-20 mile per hour range. And we're looking at highs around 80 degrees as we come home later today. So it's a little warmer out there. Rain and storm chances hold off until tomorrow. So we'll talk more about that and the weekend ahead coming up in just a little bit. But now let's get back over to Erica. Checking on traffic.
Greg, thank you so much. So the crash we were following on 35E northbound approaching I-30 in the downtown Dallas area, it actually just moved out from blocking lanes. It's a little bit tough to tell, but you kind of see the flashing lights here. It's just on the other side of this camera. They just relocated it. It is in the shoulder, which is good, but we do still have backups behind this because, again, we had a couple right lanes closed off. So this is what things are looking like stretching behind it, 35E and 8th Street this morning. Not looking too pretty. Travel for you elsewhere in Mesquite. We do still have this ramp closure. It's that 635 ramp getting onto 635 southbound from 80 westbound. So lanes are open on 80, but again, closed getting off at that ramp this morning. So that's the other thing I want you to keep in mind. 75 though in 15th Street in Plano moving nicely. So backing up to about the Dallas Zoo on 35E northbound. Think about maybe taking 342 as a workaround as you plan out your morning drive. Again, slight delays on 80 westbound coming into Mesquite. And as far as the zoom out, what we're seeing here across the rest of North Texas, a lot of green out here, Dia and Matt.
All right, Erica, we appreciate that. This morning, 3 men are recovering after they were shot in a Fort Worth neighborhood.
It happened just after 8 last night in an area off of Park Vista Boulevard in Fort Worth.
Chris Sadeghi joining us live from Fort Worth Police Department this morning. And Chris, what have you learned about this shooting?
Well, according to police, they say this all started with a man and a woman arguing out in the street. When neighbors came out to see what was going on, things quickly escalated. Police got the call around 8 o'clock last night for a disturbance. When they arrived, they found 3 people shot. The information given to us by officers is a boyfriend and girlfriend were arguing in the street. When the neighbors went out to see what was happening, that's when the physical confrontation began. And police say the woman in the initial argument pulled out a gun and shot 3 people, including her boyfriend. At last update, all 3 were stable at a local hospital. The woman was detained, and police say they depend on the community to help solve and prevent shootings like this one.
We want to remind the public that gun violence has no place in our community. We remain committed to pursuing those responsible and ask for the community's help in preventing further harm by reporting information and choosing peaceful resolutions.
And this shooting comes just a few days after the chief of police here in Fort Worth, Eddie Garcia, talked about gun violence in the city. Coming up in 30 minutes, we'll talk more about the challenges they're facing when it comes to putting an end to it. Matt and Dia, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you for the update. We have another update on breaking news we brought you yesterday on Daybreak out of Johnson County. An elderly suspect is dead and a deputy is injured after an early morning shootout. Deputies say they were called to a house fire on County Road 605 around 3 o'clock Wednesday morning. But when first responders arrived, they were shot at. Authorities say a deputy was injured and more than a dozen gunshots were heard. Investigators say deputies located 75-year-old William James Rogers with a gun, and he was shot and killed. We spoke to a longtime neighbor of the suspect who did not want to show her face.
I just feel so bad because he was such a nice man. It's just sad to look over there and there's no house anymore. It's gone. They're gone. He's gone. It's a shame.
She says Rogers had been struggling after losing his wife. The injured deputy was treated for minor injuries and released. The Texas Rangers are now handling that investigation.
New video shows Tanner Horner revealing disturbing details about the day he killed 7-year-old Athena Strand.
Prosecutors played recorded interviews that Horner gave Texas Rangers after his arrest.
Natalie Haddad joins us from the newsroom. Natalie, walk us through what jurors saw yesterday, what they might see today.
Hey, good morning to you both. It will likely be another long and difficult day in court. Yesterday, we heard a lot of graphic details in the case. Prosecutors played recorded interviews Tanner Horner gave Texas Rangers after his arrest in 2022, where he described the last moments of 7-year-old Athena Strand's life and blamed his alter ego for the murder. Now, video played in court showed investigators questioning Horner. Throughout the interviews, he changed his stories a few times, first claiming he accidentally hit and killed Athena with his FedEx truck, to then admitting he strangled and killed her to protect himself. Jurors also watched video of Horner taking investigators to a bamboo field to find Athena's body 2 different times. On the stand yesterday was Texas Ranger Joe Espinoza. He helped search for Athena. Espinoza testified that after Horner took them to that bamboo field, Horner changed his story yet again, saying his alter ego, Zero, was responsible for Athena's death. After investigators asked Zero where Athena's body was, Horner led them to the right place.
He tossed her in. Like, I couldn't just keep running around with a kid in the back like that.
Told me he dropped her right there over the edge.
There she is.
In that same footage played in court, Horner talks at length about his alter ego, but in the end, prosecutors say it was Tanner Horner who pleaded guilty to murder, not his alter ego. The jury is deciding whether Horner gets life in prison or the death penalty. Dia.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Natalie. Sentencing resumes at 9 o'clock this morning. Legal experts will join senior investigative reporter Tanya Iser each day to break down the testimony. Get insight that you can't find anywhere else on WFAA Plus, a free download to your TV.
Now let's get you to 3 things that you need to know this morning. Rapper Pooh Shiesty will remain behind bars after facing a judge for the first time for fellow rapper Gucci Mane's alleged robbing. Prosecutors say Lontrell Williams Jr. and his crew held rapper Gucci Mane at gunpoint at a music studio in Dallas earlier this year. In court, prosecutors argued that Williams is a flight risk. His attorneys are fighting the charges, saying the FBI did not recover any weapons or stolen jewelry. A lawsuit was just filed to try and block a new Texas law that bans smokable hemp. Our partners at the Texas Tribune report the hemp and cannabis industry groups are targeting 2 rules, one that limits THC content to 0.3% and the other that increases licensing fees from a few $100 to as much as $10,000. The suit argues the rule, which just took effect last week, effectively ends the sale of hemp products in the state. The Artemis 2 astronauts, they're wrapping up tests and preparing their capsule for re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. Today, they will try on their re-entry gear and put their seats back in place for tomorrow's splashdown. Back here on Earth, more than 100 sailors from Naval Base San Diego are now in place, along with a mobile dive team to assist the astronauts. Tomorrow's splashdown will happen roughly around 7 p.m. All right, 6:08 this Thursday morning. We got a lot to get to, including a man trapped underground for nearly 2 weeks, found alive.
What divers found when they reached him, as a lot of people wonder how the miner even survived.
And after some poll confusion when we voted earlier this year, causing frustration in Dallas County amongst voters, could new legislation stop it from happening again?
Well, we've got several rounds of rain on the way as an unsettled weather pattern settles in. We've got a closer look at the potential for any strong activity.
In the meantime, we'll start to see that moisture increasing a little bit, a little warmer for you heading out the door this morning. So you'll notice that, I think, when you step on out. But otherwise, it's going to be a quiet start there as we look from our Denton Tower cam. That's along the I-35 merge there in Denton County. Not looking too bad for your morning commute. More when Daybreak continues.